All right, so I have reached Atlanta. I remembered something as a kid coming here. I remember hearing about an underground mall, and it was something I was supposed to do. And one of the adventures that we did when my grandma lived close to Atlanta when I was a kid. And I don't think we actually ever did it, and it's just kind of always stuck in my memory, just knowing that sounded like it was pretty cool and knowing it existed, but never having actually gone. So as I was about 30 miles out from Atlanta, it just occurred to me, and I remembered about that. So I set my navigation to put me sorry, through to underground Atlanta, and here I am. So as soon as I reached Atlanta and got close to the underground Atlanta area, as it's called, I just found a quick and easy parking garage and decided to pull in here, as it seemed to be pretty centrally located around a bunch of things to do in the area. As I was driving toward this, I already saw one e-scooter on the side of the road, so I think I'm going to try to accomplish one of my goals for this trip of trying out e-scooters for the first time. So if I find some, and it seems like it's going to be a good way for me to get to another place to check out, that's probably what I'll end up doing. But when I got to this parking garage, it was almost completely empty. So I actually ended up driving all the way up to the top floor here. So as you can see, I'm actually the only car that is on the top floor of this parking garage, and that gave me an opportunity to basically kind of clean myself up after yesterday. So give myself basically a wet wipe shower and change clothes and got things a little bit cleaned up and organized in the car. Found the sleeping mask that I spent almost an hour looking for last night. It goes back to the biggest thing that I learned, and I don't seem to have learned it too well yet, of everything in its place and a place for everything. So I ended up finding it close to my clothing bag up near the front seat, and I didn't even really think to look there too hard last night. I don't know why I put it there or how it ended up there, but it wasn't a huge deal. I slept pretty decent last night. I think I probably got about 5 hours of sleep or so, which, in the far from ideal situation that I ended up parking at last night, that was actually pretty good. I probably could have slept better if I had the sleeping mask on me, because I think it was the light and stuff that woke me up in the morning. But anyway, I'm all cleaned up right now. I'm probably gonna stop by a bathroom somewhere and kind of wash my face and stuff a little bit, because the wet wipes don't do the greatest job for all of that. But I'm gonna go through and just kind of wandering around. But before I do, I actually just checked before you fly in this area, and I'm in a warning zone, but not a no-fly zone. So I think I'm gonna take an opportunity, especially from this spot that I'm at in this empty parking garage, to send the drone up and just take a little look around. So switching over to the drone now. So the drone flight didn't work out how I was hoping to. It turns out that I am surrounded by no-fly zones, and I was getting a ton of interference, even only flying about 40 feet up from me. And I tried to go higher to get away from that, but it was still a little wonky. Got a lot of wind right now too, so went up, took a quick video, a couple of pictures, and I think I'll find some better spots for the drone on this trip. But at least a little test flight to make sure that everything was still working for it, because I haven't actually flown my drone in quite some time now. It's just been too hot out to really sit still out there and do it. So I'm going to start walking around, I see a couple of people in the distance actually on some e-scooters down there. So I'm going to start just kind of exploring the area here and see what there is to see. Right now it is 1:23, so I got about 2 hours before the Gator game starts, and I'm hoping I just kind of stumble across a place that I'll be able to watch the game, and maybe if I get lucky, even run into some other Gator fans. So hooray for Underground Atlanta. Of course, I get here and it turns out the whole thing is closed for renovations. So I'm parked in the perfect spot for Underground Atlanta without an Underground Atlanta to go to. So not exactly sure what to do from here. I think I'm just gonna pick a direction and walk. So I ran into a random hip hop festival just kind of in my travels here. So hung out for a few minutes, saw a couple of people go up and walked into the festival there, the shops and stuff, and yeah, just another random encounter.
Streets unlocked.
Tell the people who you are, where you from, what you about to do.
Hey everybody, my name is Bitter the Hitter. I'm from Atlanta, grew up in Michigan, came back to Atlanta. Been a rapper for about 8 years. You can find me on IG by the same name, SPITTADAHITTA. Thank you. Don't wanna come mess with me. Society, it gets messy. Don't want no problems, I just want that cash. This the money side, I ain't moving past. Don't come to me with problems. Now you got them, if we gonna solve them, it's going down.
So just found one pretty neat little place, especially for maybe a weary traveler or someone that's been traveling on the road. I'll have to make sure I share the location of the parking garage that I found and parked at. That's where my car is still at right now. But walking down the road a little bit here, down Peachtree Street, there is a place here called The Hub at Peachtree Street Center, which is a nice air-conditioned area going on the inside. Has plenty of spaces to just kind of hang out and sit down. There's power outlets and USB outlets everywhere for charging devices, so kind of a nice advantage for that as well. And the restroom is really nice and clean too. So this is definitely a fantastic area to just kind of find a spot to stealth camp, set up the car in kind of off the road area, or I really recommend the parking garage like I did, and then just come in and hang out and see spots like this. So I've been wandering Peach Street in downtown Atlanta for a little while now. Been just up and down the road a couple of times and checked out a couple of places. I just did a video about the Hub, and that was a really neat area to go to. So right now it is 2:37, got a little less than an hour before the Gator game starts. So what I think I'm going to do is wander over to this sports bar that is down back kind of closer toward where I'm parked, and just kind of check the place out and see if it seems to be a good venue for the game. Ran into one Gator fan already that picked me out from my shirt as I was walking by, so hoping to run into a few more as the day goes on, but we'll see how it goes. So just spent the past couple of hours hanging out here at Braves Sports Bar here in Atlanta and watched the Gator game. It's a fantastic game to watch. Actually, we beat the crap out of Auburn. Although it was pretty close at a couple of points. The Miami-Virginia Tech game was also pretty interesting. It's actually getting kind of cool out right now. It feels like it's in the low 70s with a pretty heavy breeze, so I'm actually going to be walking back to my car right now, either to just probably hang out for a bit or to bundle up and keep going. I haven't decided yet, but it's time for a trip back to home base.